Hello, I'm Kevin Sell, CVO of United Group Services and team member of Project Summit. As you all are aware, we've been faced with decades of industry lag behind the others. While tech has accelerated, we've had issues with productivity lagging and declining. A lot of this has to do with the root causes of construction as it sits today, where we're dealing with conflict, litigation, sometimes results of a rigid procurement process. We're seeing fewer in the trades while we're seeing increases in wages, safety, quality, and job satisfaction. We also are very familiar with words like over budget, conflict, old, failed, tired. But we need a change. We need to get to the point where we're talking about innovation, collaboration, and trust. This video is going to give you an overview of Project Summit and what we're working on to change the industry now. To fully understand Project Summit, it's really important to also understand how the User Summit began. And in this case, it started with the ABC Industrial User Summit, which turned to the ABC User Summit once we rolled in healthcare. But the purpose of that, the design behind that architecture, was to educate construction end users of how we do business in construction in the merit shop industry. More importantly, how we improve the industry. And we needed to do that by using a trusted place of collaboration, an event where we could talk openly about how we can improve safety, education, workforce, quality, productivity, job security, and also community enrichment. The User Summit gave us that platform after working on it for about 10 years, getting us to where we are today. So we looked at ideas coming from the ABC Users Summit, and that led to the formation of what we wanted to call Project Summit, which exists today. We had the common values, safety, quality, service. We had a common mission. We had common approaches. What we needed was a team. And that contractor team of 3 occurred in seconds between United Group Services, Metro Power, and Quest Group. We also needed guidance and support. That took minutes. Quite frankly, we knew that we had to have the right people to give us guidance as contractors and with the client to be able to move forward and to also capture the work that we're doing in all aspects of the project itself. Finally, we needed a client, and that was going to take more time. As a part of the Project Summit team, we knew that we needed a research group, one that would be impartial and had the abilities to provide credible data for future presentations and comparative studies. We also wanted to make sure that they would track everything, the bad, the good, maybe even the great. And to do that, we reached out to our friends at Arizona State University. And from there, we reached out to even a bigger part of a group of which they belong called Simplar, which provides a consortium of multiple universities engaged in construction industry research. So under the one hard hat philosophy of Project Summit, we had assembled our contracting team. We had assembled the research team as a part of that group. We now needed to move to oversight. What I mean by that is 2 specific areas needed to be included within this group: legal and vision forward from an end user perspective. On the legal side, our choice was clear. We contacted David Pugh to run point with the Bradley firm. Their firm has the proper construction experience, the ABC knowledge, and the legal bandwidth to handle everything that we needed to do from a third-party perspective to stay neutral in all accounts, but to represent the legal risks, advantages, etc. of the execution strategy itself. Secondly, we talked about vision forward, end user perspective. Only one name came to the surface, and we were glad to have him on board, and that was Pete Dumont with Premier Resource Group. Pete also has been handling and leading OS2, and we wanted him to function as the team's quarterback, keeping everything in line, making sure that we're representing everything accurately on time as we go through the process of finding the client and explaining what Project Summit can do for them and how it yields project success. So now we're at the point where we have to add the client to the Project Summit team as the final element. We wanted to find a client that was progressive, had a knowledge of the ABC Summit event, collaboration, things that had gone on in past in terms of what we wanted to do, but also a client that feels the pain of the industry and where it's been stuck. A client that wants change, but also a client that is bold enough to try. So far you've heard from me. Now I want you to hear from our project team member, the client.
I'm Ed Luckenbach, and I'm with Air Products and Chemicals. I've been with Air Products for 30 years now. As you know, Air Products is a large industrial gas company. We have probably about 19,000 people. We probably have about $8.9 billion in sales. We do a lot of construction. My role at Air Products is the construction manager, and we perform a lot of different contracts. We do a lot in the same way. We were looking to be a little bit different. We wanted to try a different strategy, really trying to build a different mousetrap. And we had this opportunity with the Summit team, and we just really wanted to be first and try something a little bit different. Quite honestly, what we saw in the industry, and for the folks that may know, I follow CII a little bit. There was a research paper back in 2019, I believe, 341. And that research paper talked a little bit about IPD and maybe taking IPD to the next level with industrial contracting. And I read the paper, and simultaneously, I was at an ABC conference. I talked to a couple contractors, particularly UGS. We have a relationship with them. We've used them in the past. UGS, Quest, and Metro Power, we all got together and started talking about this. And we said, hey, let's give this a try. We put a team together, we talked about it, and we found a really good project that we thought would be worth considering. And quite honestly, the reason for the change was to be a little bit better than our competitors, maybe try something a little bit different, maybe learn something, and really just get a competitive advantage, and really see if we can just take a different approach and see if we can learn from it.
So now that you've heard from our client team member, we want to talk about the project. What does it take to make a Project Summit One Hard Hat philosophy successful? It has to be something that we can track, something that we can yield comparison to the client's previous projects, and it has to be an appropriate size and scale. So what we're talking about here is something with greater than 100,000 labor hours, encompassing several trades, not too far along in engineering, but also containing a value of $15 to $25 million. Next, we want to talk about the challenges. No project ever works without addressing challenges. And in Project Summit, this was extremely unique. So what did we have to look for? What did we have to overcome? Procurement practices and paradigms, buy-in from the customer, but also everyone on the team, because it's new. You know, we're trying something that has never been done before. More importantly, and I cannot overemphasize this, you will hear this from every team member, creating trust. Because collaboration and innovation will not occur without the creation of implicit trust. So now we have everything in place, and we're ready to start work in Osceola, Arkansas. Team members are ready, the desire is there. We even added some additional project partners, United Rentals for the equipment and OcuCare International for the on-site medical support. But as prepared as we were, COVID-19 happened. But we didn't pause, we pivoted, and we addressed a program to enable us to work safely to get the work started so that everything fit as one cohesive unit. And as we moved forward, we started seeing indications in the research that showed best-in-class safety, quality results, above all, worker satisfaction. In other words, the craft professional liked being there in that environment. That being said, we also added in community enrichment activities. And you might be asking at this point, well, this is all fine and well, but what about legal? What about conflict? What about disputes? At this point, we had never had to open the contract, and no, the attorneys were not there. They stayed home.